Hey guys, what's up? Well, today is video game day. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to compare my 27-inch iMac against my new 17-inch Lenovo IdeaPad 330. Now the IdeaPad is an octa-core processor, 12 gigs of RAM, Windows 10 of course, and we have Windows 10 running on the Mac, and it has 16 gigs of RAM, and of course an NVIDIA video card. I don't remember what's in this thing. It's just some whatever video card. Anyways, there's a couple of differences here. One of the games, the car has one extra feature, which is showing car damage, whereas the other one doesn't, and neither one of them have smoke turned on. But the graphics are all right pinned as high as they can go to really make the machines work really hard. Now, what we're comparing here the most is, lag, how well things are going to go in the game. Now, there's obviously a huge difference in picture quality. The iMac is so much nicer and appealing over the laptop screen, but the laptop is a little bit brighter, where the Mac isn't so much. Now, all the video settings are also set up the same. I've not changed anything there. Both cars are dialed in the same as far as, mods and such, and settings. So they're all equal that way. And of course, both the exact same car, the Lotus Elise. Let's try this out and see what the difference is. Now, the octa-core processor in here is running 1.8 gigahertz, overclocking to 4 gigahertz. The iMac is a quad-core 3.2 gigahertz, overclocking to 3.8. Anyways, so we're going to compare the two and see what's going on with them, and you be the judge of which one you think is actually the better, or are they both equal as far as everything goes. So anyways, let's get on with the game, and we're just going to do some driving around, and that's it. Of course, right now I got the cops chasing me on this one. And of course we have NOS on both as well. Well, one nice thing about a Mac is you can run any OS you want on a Mac. I've chosen to run Windows 10 and of course the Mac OS. And until I tell it to stop running Windows 10, it'll just keep rebooting into Windows 10. Also, this laptop has the new 8th generation i7 processor, and the iMac is actually running an i5 processor. So there is a lot of difference between the two of them as far as specs and that go.
I picked up that visual. We got a target 20 confirmed. We're still at code 3. We're going to have to do a pit. We're going to try to disable. Dispatch, request 10 seconds. Driver's gun in, head on into the hook. Okay, you got it. Stay with him. Step on it, go, go. Go mobile, I'm on him.
Now, for a video card in this thing that is not a gamer card, or it's not NVIDIA, I am really super impressed with how well it does. Like this game's minimum specs are very minimal as far as video is concerned, and the amount of memory and operating system version. Although you do need a little bit of a processor, but nothing overkill. And that's minimum. That's just to play the game. that's going to also mean you're not going to be able to turn the graphics up very high, or it's going to lag like crazy, which it actually kind of does on my HP. So I have to run the HP at very low end graphics in order to play the game, but at least it plays it. And you know, and that's with a dual core machine with what is it? I believe it's got like 3 gigs of RAM in the thing, and it's running Windows 7. You know, so. But if you want to take full advantage of the game, you definitely need a decent video card. You know, that can handle it. You also, of course, are going to need some RAM and good processor speed, you know, never hurts. So it looks like we're just about away from the cops completely here. I'm just going to let that sit and finish. And boom. Alright, so let's check out the Mac. Remember, same car. Now we're going to be different tracks, obviously, as far as, you know, different parts of the city, but this is actually good too. Now all the shading, like the shadow effects, world details, like I said, everything is turned right up to the top on both machines.
Moving west on Bow Avenue. Can I get someone to start up that way now, please? Dispatch, can you give me more info on that vehicle? Vehicle's a
Yes, I know I'm bad for hitting vehicles. It's good though when you piss off the cops.
I'm clear. Should be on scene in a few.
Alright, so now we're going to head onto the highway here. Now, I do like playing it on the larger screen. I get to see more, you know, ahead of time, which is kind of nice about having a big screen. I should actually try playing this on my TV set. I think that'd be kind of fun, actually. So I got a 42-inch TV, so it should look pretty cool on the PC. And there comes the cops.
Dispatch, this guy just plowed into me. Going code 3. Everybody stand by for detail.
Okay.
Roger, go ahead. I got a cruiser here. We're dying. I gotta drop out.
I personally can't drive where the beans when I'm in the mode where you actually see your card. I need to see it as if I'm driving a real car. So there's a bit of a brief difference. I'm going to play this a little bit longer though, just on this computer. So we played for quite a while on the PC. We'll give it a little bit more time to really see how the graphics come out and, you know, whatnot.
Okay, 5-1, advising units return to GDs now.
I think as far as things like shadowing effects and all that, they come out really beautiful on the Mac, you know, over the PC. But on the PC, you can still see them really well. It's just a color thing or a preference of color thing. And I probably could get very similar shading on the PC, but to do that, I'd have to really tweak the graphics card a little bit more, like as far as brightness and contrast goes, and you know, to try and dial it in better. But then what happens is it's going to screw up my view of my other programs, and so you'd be constantly switching back and forth. So I figure, you know, the fair test is as the machines are, you know, set up, and you know, that's gonna give us our, you know, color differences, graphic quality differences. and everything else. So, you know, it makes it more equal. You know what I mean?
Dispatch, I just had a vehicle blow past me high speed. I'll try and catch up. Stand by for details.
Of course, too, with a larger screen, what you'll notice too is you'll have more room. It gives you that illusion, anyways, of having more room and space. When they are really exactly the same, you know, just different size screens. But I feel like I have a lot more room on the roadways on a larger screen. So it's kind of an illusion that can kind of work to your benefit, I suppose. No. There's a cop cruiser. So that's where we're at with both of these. Give me your opinion, guys, what you think between the two of them. Because I like to hear your comments. Now, remember the specs of the machines here. 12 gigs of RAM, octa-core processor, whatever video card it is. It's not an NVIDIA or an ATI or anything like that. It's just some kind of a built-in jobby. I don't know how much video RAM it actually uses up, but it does quite the nice job. Of course, 17-inch display, i7 8th generation processor versus the Mac. Remember, this is 8 cores at 1.8 with an overclock of 4. The iMac is a quad-core 3.2 gigahertz that overclocks at 3.8, if I remember right. 16 gigs of RAM in this machine. Of course, larger display and NVIDIA 1 gig graphics card in the iMac. I actually like playing on either one, to be honest. I find they both are fairly equal to each other. I find I get a little bit quicker response time on the Octo, where it's just probably a couple of milliseconds difference on the iMac. It's enough that I can actually tell and feel the difference in the gameplay. I like the larger screen, and I like the color palette on the Mac more so, of course. But on the 17, of course, you're still able to play really well. 17-inch is a good size screen to play on. The coloration is pretty good. Like I said, I could balance the PC out to the Mac fairly closely, but we all know that Macs were made for graphics, sound, and animation. And nowadays, of course, they kick butt when it comes to video gaming compared to, you know, going back years ago when Apple wasn't using Intel chips. Now that they're using the Intel chips, there's nothing they can't do that a PC, you know what I mean? Like, they're still faster either way than the PCs, you know, but they do the job adequately for games without the lag issues that Macs used to have at one time. They haven't ever since they switched to Intels. And the OS X operating system, even though it has its flaws in it like any other operating system on the Mac would or the PC world, the OS X actually works quite well regardless, and the compatibility to be able to run Windows 10 on a Mac these days is great, you know, because then you're like Windows 10 versus Windows 10 and so on. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys quickly, because this actually has come up, and that is when it comes to the processors. Now, back in the old days, you would see threading cores, okay? And I wanted to talk to you guys about that. Control panel, device manager. Things are not called they're not called threading cores. That's the days of like Pentium type computers. What's going on here? Oh yeah, well, whatever. Who cares? Now they actually list the cores on the computers. So if you're kind of curious, and I actually checked my HP to verify this as well. My HP is a dual core. Now the Mac here shows 4 cores. Okay, Intel Core. It doesn't say threading core. It's Intel Core, i5 4570 CPU, 3.2 gigahertz. Okay, quad core processor. On the PC over here, we have 8 cores showing. Intel Core i7-8550U CPU, 1.8 gigahertz times 8 of them. Okay, so this again, it's not threading cores. This is actual the cores of your processor. You've got 8 cores, you got 4 core. And if you want to, verify that this is talking about actual cores, the relation between them are going to be the same because they're Intel processors, right? So I'm going to show you something else here, rather as quick as I can. Safety, how do I get back to the Mac side? There we go, boot camp. Restart in OS 10. So I'm going to leave this window open for you guys to look at here. This is going to take a minute to restart, so I'm sorry if you want to just skip ahead, you'll find the spot. Otherwise, be patient for a minute here, and it's going to reboot into the Mac OS. And we're going to show you how the Mac actually lists itself. Doesn't take all that long to boot, but big operating system. Now I use a program called Boot Camp on the Mac. I could just throw in a raw Windows 10 if I wanted to, but I like the advantage of being able to run the 2 OSs independently and on the same machine and just switching between them. I find that's actually to me it's a lot nicer. Okay, so if you go about this Mac in the Apple menu, it tells you 3.2 gigahertz Intel Core i5 processor. This is how it's listed in here. NVIDIA GeForce GT 755 1024. Okay, now that doesn't say the word quad core. Okay, but it is a quad core machine. Go into display, storage, memory, support, specifications. So we'll fire up the specifications. It's going to go into Google here. Now this is a late 2013 iMac. It's only 2 years old. It's been in production since late 2013, so it's a late 2013 version. I bought this computer brand new like 2 years ago, so it's not that old, Our internet is a little slow here. Okay, so processor, 3.2 gigahertz quad core. Remember you saw 4 cores in the device manager on the PC side? So quad core, Intel i5, turbo boost. Okay, so it was my bad. I thought it was 3.8, it's 3.6 gigahertz. So it's 3.2 turbo boost to 3.6. And they do have the 3.4 turbo boost to 3.8. As well as configurable to 3.5 quad core, turbo boost to 3.9. So mine is, let's go back here to mine. So we're at 3.2. So the 3.2 goes to 3.6 quad core. So 4 processor cores. All right. So these aren't called threading cores. These are actually the 4. You got 4 processors in there. Quad core processor times 4. So it's 4 core, right? So anyways, hopefully that clears up some stuff for some people on that one too, especially in the PC side of things. Because like I said, we've had this discussion actually come up where a guy, started harassing my wife on her channel saying that it's threading cores. It's not actually an octa-core processor. Well, I'm afraid it is an octa-core processor, and if he doesn't like it, too bad. I even remember when they used to call them threading cores way back. You know what I mean? And it's not like that anymore, so they independently list the cores this way. And I can show you the same thing on my HP laptop running Windows 7. It actually shows it's a dual-core processor, and then it shows you in the device manager 2 separate processors. So that's not threading cores, that is the cores. That's how it's done. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and a little bit of gameplay there. And give me your opinion, what you think about the two machines, one against the other. A lot of people think that Windows running on a Mac slows down the Mac. It really does not, because when you reboot into that Windows 10 as your main startup drive, you're running Windows 10. It's just Boot Camp is the assister to get you kicked onto the PC side, and it allows you to switch back and forth between Mac and PC. So, but anyways, there you go. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.